Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now some interesting news in the middleweight slash super middleweight division, right? We got some very good fighters in the division, champions. We'll talk about Jermall Charlo, right? The WBC champion at 160 versus David Benavidez, right? The WBC BC champion in 168, the super middleweight division. That would be a middleweight versus super middleweight. Both undefeated. Charlo at 31-0 with 22 KOs. Benavidez at 23-0 with 20 KOs. Both dangerous dudes, right? Charlo's a two-division champ because the champ at 154 and 160 will be going into his third weight division to fight a David Benavidez who is big for the 168-pound division, who has problems making the weight. That's why he's a former champion, because he missed the weight by 3 pounds in his first fight, albeit because the pandemic had started. And, you know, people didn't know where they were going to train, and you had to get your habits and adjust them to the pandemic. I don't think they should have stripped him of the title for that. I think they should have just did something else, right, and gave him an opportunity, a shot. But he had transgression before, so maybe that's why they didn't. I'm trying to, you know, give the WBC the benefit of the doubt. We know why he really got stripped of the title. But anyway, he's dangerous. So these two guys are talking like they want to fight right now. Make sure this is clear. As far as I'm concerned, they should only fight under one condition only, right? They're both at the WBC, right? And if they do fight, because it will be an awesome move for both of them to fight, and it will be an awesome fight, right? But if they do, it should be the WBC should mandate Canelo to fight the winner, right? Seeing as though Canelo Alvarez was the WBC 160-pound champion, when Charlo became his mandatory 2 years long, they gave Canelo a franchise title, so he doesn't have to fight this guy, Charlo. David Benavidez was the 168-pound champion. When he got stripped of the title, then Canelo wanted to go fight Yildirim for the title, and then he didn't even have to. So Canelo went up to 168 to fight Callum Smith for the WBA, right, title. The WBC gives Canelo the title at the 168, meaning Canelo has never fought for it. That is the reason enough. And then on top of that, we give Canelo Yildirim to fight in a mandatory. Make sure this is clear. Yildirim lost his last fight. Yildirim's been off 2 years. Yildirim has fought somebody before he was off with 40 and 14, right? 40 wins, 14 losses. Before that, someone with 3 wins, 31 losses. And before that, another knockout loss to Chris Eubank Jr. And what I just told you in his last 4 or 5 fights, what would make him somebody that Canelo has to fight as mandatory? Canelo should have asked at that point, I'll fight David Benavidez for the title. But he did not do that. And Benavidez is dangerous, just like Charlo is dangerous. That's the common denominator. Dangerous, right? So he doesn't have to do that. I would make the WBC make a statement to why not. That wouldn't be something that they would want to do. Force Canelo to fight the winner. Then this fight is definitely awesome. Then it has something, you know, to fight for. You know, we got a title on the line. We got a Canelo shot on the line. Right now it's just, hey, we're two awesome guys and we're trying to fight, right? No, everybody, the media, everybody has to know how important this fight is, and that Canelo didn't want to fight neither one of these guys. To make sure that that's how I would market the fight. 2 guys that Canelo did not want to fight. Make sure it's clear. Not just, oh, 2 guys got together and just leave it at that. No. And here's another thing. Let's go back to it. Canelo is also trying to unify the 168-pound division, and he's fighting Billy Joe Saunders next, right after Yildirim in February, Billy Joe Saunders in May, right? But Billy Joe Saunders is not allowed to fight Andrade in February too, so the fight with Canelo could be big. He's going to fight Callum Platt in September. Callum Platt will probably wait all the way to September and not fight nobody. Callum Platt could be fighting Benavidez, and Canelo fights the winner of that fight, right? So both of Canelo's fights would be huge, because Billy Joe Saunders would have just beat up Demetrius Andrade, would have make him a superstar. Trust me, if Billy Joe Saunders beat Andrade, he's going in the pound-for-pound list way high. If you beat a Negro League fighter that everybody knows is awesome, they don't say how awesome he is until somebody beats him. Then all of a sudden you shoot through the roof. That's what would happen. If Cataplant beat Benavidez, then we would be knowing this dude can really box. We know he can box, but everybody comes says his level of opposition. I don't think everybody beats a Vincent Feiger boots like that, right? Because, you know, people don't know people and they think everybody would beat him like that. Everybody wouldn't beat fighting butts like that. Cataplant is all that, right? He beat Uzbeki guy, Uzbeki, right? He beat Uzbeki. Everybody's not beating him, and because he was in a little trouble against Uzbeki, people think it's a problem. But bottom line, you can't dominate everybody. He won that fight, so Cataplant is the truth. Sweet Hands is bad now, but he should have a huge fight before fighting Canelo, right? Let's make sure that happens. Charlo, in my opinion, conduct the fight with Benavidez, and I wouldn't say nothing because I know Canelo did. Right, so I'm not going to sit here and let the media and anybody hone in on the fact that Charlo say, you know what, I ain't trying to fight you yet. I'm going to finish at 168, right? Then whatever, because Canelo didn't fight him. You don't understand. That has to stay in the focus. I'm hearing that Jermall Charlo wants Benavidez to get a vaccination first. Well, if I was Benavidez, I'd say I ain't getting no damn vaccination if I don't want to, right? Vaccinations, you know, some people want to get them and trust the government and trust what's going on and vaccinations and all that, you know, because of the situation we're in. Yet some don't. Some want to wait around to see what's going on, right? So I don't think we should start doing that because that would set a precedent that is not good going forward. You know, forcing people to take vaccinations and you don't know how good they're working. So that's an issue, right? Make sure this is clear. If he doesn't fight him, he doesn't fight him. But make sure this is clear. This is important. Jermall Charlo, if he fights Benavidez, Benavidez is Jermall Charlo's Errol Spence. What Errol Spence is to Terrence Crawford, Benavidez is to Jermall Charlo. Make sure, sometimes we forget that. That's Benavidez' weight division. He's 168 and a big one, a huge one, has problems making the weight, right? This is would be Charlo's third division. And then he's going to fight the most dangerous 168 pounder is Benavidez. People can say whatever. The most dangerous. They didn't say the most talented or whatever, right? The most dangerous heavyweight is Deontay Wilder, right? Talent, then you start going to other people, Tyson Fury and all of that, right? But when you say the most dangerous, which you can be laying down face first on the canvas, messing around with him, that's David Benavidez, right? So you're going up to the third weight division to fight somebody real big. That's what Terrence Crawford is doing, you know? Lightweight, you know, 135, right? Then 140. Now 147, and not anybody at 147, Errol Spence. So it's the same thing. So that's how it has to be treated. The guy coming up to his third weight division has to be treated as such. Oh man, you're going up to fight the monster. Make sure all that is clear. So bottom line here is what I'm trying to say is it's an awesome fight between Jermall Charlo and David Benavidez. Awesome fight. But if it don't happen, it don't happen. If Charlo don't even want it, I ain't gonna be running around here Charlo ducking some. I ain't even going there. Not until everybody, including the media, says the only reason we talking about this fight is because Canelo didn't do what he should have done with both of these guys. So if both of these guys fight, the only way that I would even be hyped about the fight is if the winner is mandated to fight Canelo. Or let me say, if Canelo is mandated by the WBC, who has enabled him all through his career, basically. If they mandate that he fights the winner, then that fight is an awesome fight. Period. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.